Namaskar and welcome to Sansad Television. I am Vishal Dahiya and you're watching our show Perspective, where we bring you detailed analysis of key national and international issues. Now, two-day-long 83rd Conference of All India Presiding Officers ended in Jaipur on Thursday. Key themes for discussion during the conference included India's leadership of G20, the need to make Parliament and Legislature more effective, accountable and productive, integration of state legislatures with digital parliament, and the need to maintain a harmonious relationship between the legislature and the judiciary in accordance with the spirit of the Constitution. Emphasizing the need for harmonious relation between all organs of the state as envisaged in our Constitution, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar said that the legislative sovereignty of Parliament is inviolable. He also underscored that dialogue, discussion and debate are key for the effective functioning of both the Parliament and other legislatures as well. Also expressed concern over the increasing instances of disruption in legislative bodies. Addressing the conference, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla also said that laws will be stronger and more effective if there is a substantial contribution of people. He also expressed concern over the shrinking of time of debate and discussion in the House. So today we're going to take a closer look at what was being said and discussed and done over the 2 days in this All India Presiding Officers Conference, and also various aspects of legislative bodies and democracy as a whole and other institutions. And for more on this, we're joined by a distinguished panel of experts. Let me first introduce them to you, beginning with, we have with us Mr. Rakesh Sinha. He is Member of Parliament and Legislature from BJP. Mr. Surendranath Tripathi is also joining us, former Secretary in the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs, and Mr. Sujit Kumar, BJD's Member of Parliament in Rajya Sabha, is also with us. Welcome, all of you gentlemen, to Sansad Television. I'll begin with you, Mr. Sinha, and let's start by looking at those key themes which were discussed over the past 2 days in the Presiding Officers Conference. It revolves around 2-3 facts. One is that, parliaments and other legislative bodies will have to function smoothly without any disruption, encourage more discussion, more involvement of people as well, and utilization of technology.
There has been some basic changes introduced in the Indian parliamentary democracy since 2014, which assumes importance in the context of the present discussion. Firstly, we are a republic with more than almost 3 dozen our assemblies and parliaments. But we never have been so much interconnected. By introducing the digital network, all the legislatures and parliament, almost all, we got connected. So a person sitting in Delhi or a member of parliament can get the information of what is happening in the Mizoram Assembly, or can get the information of the Legislative Council in Bihar or Uttar Pradesh. So this is one development which has taken place, which makes us organic and mutually dependent for the evolution of the Indian parliamentary democracy. As far as Speaker's Conference is concerned, the most important issue which has been discussed is one of them is how to evolve the parliamentary democracy. The nutshell is how to evolve parliamentary democracy. In that process, evolution is the number of sitting of the parliament, number of sitting of the assemblies, one. Second is the qualitative transformation of the parliamentary discourse and debate, which is required from any parliament, any legislature, because over the years we find that some decline in the quality of discourse and debate. Third important thing which has been discussed, which has a far-reaching impact in a liberal democracy, is the role of judiciary, the relationship between legislature and judiciary. The parliament is a supreme body. It gets the mandate of the people. When people give the mandate, it does not give a partial mandate. It gives a full mandate to discuss the complete things of the state, which includes the constitution, which includes the every aspect, including judiciary. So you cannot tie the parliament that you cannot discuss this, you cannot do this. Parliament cannot be under the don'ts.
Okay.
So this right of the parliament legislature, which has been traditionally or conventionally confined, and judiciary always profess that parliament has certain limits. Judiciary is a custodian. Independent and impartial judiciary is a core of democracy, essence of democracy. But that does not mean that legislature is confined in its duties in discussion and deliberation.
Okay. Okay. That clearly sums up the various aspects which were discussed during the 2 days. We'll take them one by one, Mr. Sinha. Thank you so much. I'll bring in Mr. Sujit Kumar here. Mr. Kumar, as far as the evolution of the process of a parliamentary democracy is concerned, and therein lies the importance of parliamentary institutions like the two houses of parliament, other legislative bodies as well. How do you analyze this evolutionary process and the place where we stand today, after the independence?
We are the largest democracy in the world, and many would argue that we are the oldest democracy, which I tend to believe. So it's a matter of great pride that we are such a vibrant and well-functioning democracy. And Professor Sinha spoke about three aspects of the discussions during the IPAC conference. Let me start with the last one, which he highlighted, the separation of power between the three organs of government. Now, I'm firmly of the view that the will of the people should be supreme in a democracy. The sovereign right of the parliament has to be respected and has to be accepted by the other two organs. Now, of late, we have seen that there has been an overstep in the functioning of judiciary, which some people would even call judicial activism or tyranny of the unelected. Now, when Honorable Vice President spoke about Kesavanand Bharati, he was referring to the judgment of 1973, where the Constitution Bench, 13th Bench Constitution Bench spoke of the basic structure, the doctrine. Now, the basic structure, of course, talks about the independence of judiciary, but nowhere does it say that the judiciary can step in and can encroach on the rights of the legislature. Now, when you speak of the evolution of the parliament, when you speak of the evolution of democracy in our country, if you look at the constituent debates, if you look at the proceedings of the Constituent Assembly, there is nowhere mentioned that judges will appoint the judges, which has been a bone of contention between the judiciary and the legislature of late, since NJAC was declared unconstitutional by the judiciary. So I think that was a very critical point that was raised by the chairman of Rajya Sabha, that supreme and sovereign power of the parliament has to be respected by the other two organs. The will of the people, the mandate of the people has to be respected. And another key element which I think is part of the evolution is that we are now trying to massively leverage technology.
Okay.
Professor Sinha spoke about the fact that different legislatures of the country and the parliament will be integrated through one common app, which is the new Vidhan Sabha application, digital app, and this has been a pet project of Honorable Speaker of Lok Sabha. Now, why is this important? It's important because different legislatures have best practices. Different legislatures have some innovation, which unfortunately, because there is no integration as of now, the other legislative bodies are unable to take advantage of. So once we have this common application where all the state assemblies and the parliament can be integrated, then I think the best practices can be shared, innovation can be shared with each other, and I think it's also going to bring a sense of unity in the country.
Okay.
And finally, Professor Sinha spoke about the accountability and how due to disruptions and due to and of course both the speaker and the chairman also brought it up, how there has been so much of disruption, there has been less discussions and deliberation, which is an affront to the democracy. So I think if you want to bring in more accountability of legislature to the people of India, then I think that aspect that we need to have more debate, we need to have more committee meetings, we need to have more participation, we need to have less disruption. These are all issues which are really important.
Okay. We'll come back on the last aspect again there to you, Mr. Kumar. But staying with the the larger issue which both Professor Sinha and Mr. Kumar referred to in their responses is the issue of harmonious relationship between the legislature and judiciary. So, Mr. Ribari, how would you describe or how would you, analyze this concept of legislative sovereignty of parliament as enshrined in the constitution and that harmonious relationship, between legislative and judiciary, in essence, all organs of the state?
You see, as Professor Sinha was just telling before us, that discussion, debate, and dialogue in democracy using digital is the hallmark of India's democracy. We are oldest, we are mother of democracy. We are also youngest because we have only 75 years of constitutional history of this country. So a lot of things will emerge. I am a student of political science, so I would like to comment on that. Constitutional democracy is what we have opted with we the people of India. There is very clear separation of powers, what one can do, what one should not do. Yes, debate as a matter of right, all the rights are with the Parliament. But there are certain limitations that the Parliament itself has put when the Constitution was adopted for itself. Independence of judiciary is equally hallmark of Indian democracy because that is how you are a democracy. People's bill is supreme, but people's bill also has a limitation of being judicious in general, not violating the principles of give and take, A, and B, discussing in general is always permissible. Okay. But I would like to highlight the new achievement that this Parliament 16th and 17th, when I was Secretary to Parliament, I have seen it, National E-Vidhan application, which has given right to honorable members to get access to all the questions, answers ahead of time, A, get the debate of all the houses anywhere in India on the tip of their fingers. And not only that, this gives them right that using artificial intelligence and other tools, they can know which question has been answered earlier or question has been put earlier. So they need not put the same question again and maybe get the similar reply. This will save time for them and perhaps it will add time for more collaborative, constructive and debate of the Parliament within the House, and it will also give public a chance to see the brilliance of our honorable members who have so much of experience of public issues. Many times we feel that we are deprived of their knowledge and wisdom, but in an orderly fashion. And that is what I wish as a citizen of this country, but I do hope that things are improving every day. Maybe the sitting of houses are shrinking, that is the area of concern. But even if they are sitting for less number of days, if there are more debates, more informed debate, it will be a bright star on the achievement of Indian democracy.
Okay. Let me take that point to Professor Sinha. Professor Sinha, more informed debates required, more discussion. You were also earlier referring in your first response. And interestingly, both the chairman of Rajya Sabha and the speaker of Lok Sabha in their addresses have, expressed concern over disruptions, reasons, whatever reasons they might be in, both the Parliament and other legislative bodies as well. The focus is more so from the presiding officers is on ensuring that there is a proper discussion and a debate with a proper outcome on the floor of the House. So how do we ensure that going forward from here?
We cannot see Parliament, some alienated things. It is completely related to the party system. The party outside the Parliament, a party inside the Parliament are interconnected, organically connected. The decline of party system is decline of parliamentary democracy. And the upliftment of the party system, qualitative improvement of the party system is the upliftment of the Parliament. Here I will point out one very important, significant point. Since 1951 till 2013, we remained as a conventional democratic state. We always considered and taught our pupils that we are following the British pattern of parliamentary democracy. For the first time in the history of modern India, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji had asserted that India is the oldest form of democracy. I am giving one very substantial thing which is related to this speakers conference.
Okay.
When we all know Lakshmi Republic, Vaishali Republic. When Magadha Empire wanted to attack the Lakshmi Republic, it sent one of the secretaries to Bhagwan Buddha for advice. When he asked Bhagwan Buddha, he said that any state, any republic which has continuous sitting of the legislature, continuous discussion on the people's issue, is a very, very conscious state that can never be destroyed and defeated. So this is known as Vijji Sandesh, Vijji message of Bhagwan Buddha. This means the message sent to Magadha Empire, because Lakshmi Empire or Vaishali Empire Republic has a continuous sitting of the legislature. So they didn't attack. They understood what Bhagwan Buddha wanted to communicate. Here I want to point out, there are almost 24 states which have very only 25 days sitting in a year. That is a very, very pathetic and very unfortunate. Punjab has only 11 days sitting. Tripura has only 14 days sitting. So our two challenges before Parliament is that how to improve the here role of a speaker is very, very significant, important, vital. I'm just giving 2 points.
Okay.
You know, a speaker has the role to improve the parliamentary debate, encourage the members who have homework, and he can also sometimes act as a headmaster by asking or by inspiring the parliamentarians to do more homework. I'm giving one example. The shrinking of the speakership is all over the world. In America, the McCarthy just now elected as the speaker in House of Representatives by getting 221 votes, and his counterpart got 216 votes. The McCarthy's election is a very much ideological divide in America. Same thing happened in Cyprus, very small state with 58 members. The person, and Anita Demetrios was elected. She's just 35-year-old in 58 members house. Now, so the important point is that a speaker must be a man of stature.
Okay.
A moral authority. He must command the moral authority. He must be a learned man. He is also a judge. He is also a member. He is also a chair. So I think that in India has maintained the standard of a speakership.
Okay.
We all have consensus that a speaker's role is very important, and we find that a speaker is playing a very vital role both in the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha in evolving the parliamentary democracy.
Okay, okay, fair enough. That's a very integrated part of the overall parliamentary democracy. We're also joined by Mr. Chakshu Roy, Head of Outreach at PRS. Chakshu, welcome to the show. Straight away diving into the deep details vis-a-vis what needs to be done. What are the key challenges? And one of them challenges here is to ensure smooth functioning of the House. Again, the issue of disruptions, which we have discussed quite often, but also ensuring how, parliamentary bodies, be it legislative bodies, be it the Parliament of India, the two houses, or, state assemblies, connect more with the people. How can that connect be established more?
I think what you raise is a fairly important point. More so because the Presiding Officers Conference is one of those few opportunities where presiding officers and their teams from across the country are able to interact with each other. And increasingly, Mr. Sinha was also referring to it, increasingly one of the things that is happening is that the confidence that our legislators and our legislatures, not only in India, but across the world, seems to be a little bit on the decline. And one way to check that decline is to bring people closer to the functioning of legislatures. That requires multiple steps. Perhaps the simplest of them is to ensure that more and more people can engage with parliamentary proceedings. So whether it is by live broadcast of parliamentary proceedings, many states currently in India still don't have live broadcast of the discussions that take place in the legislatures. The second is, how do you ensure that the premises of legislatures are also much more accessible to people? Very often we see that post the pandemic, legislatures are a little slow to open up in terms of access for individual members. But perhaps the biggest thing that our legislatures can do is that if there is reasoned debate in the legislatures, if our legislatures sit for longer durations, that will allow our citizenry to understand and appreciate what is happening in our legislative bodies.
Okay. That's also very integrated and important part out there. Let me bring in Mr. Sujit Kumar once again here. Mr. Kumar, both you and Professor Sinha here on my show are people's representatives. Now, the question which I want to put to you is, how can we bring, more of common people to the functioning of the parliamentary bodies, or establish that stronger connect in a much broader way between the parliamentary bodies or the legislative bodies and the people whom you represent there?
I think Chaksu has partly answered this when he said that there should be more people's participation. One way to do this is by utilizing the committee system that we have. Unfortunately, so few bills are being now sent to the committees. There has been such a sharp decline since 2009, since 2014, of the number of bills that are being sent to the committees for discussions and deliberations. And secondly, the participation of the members of parliament, unfortunately, also is so poor. In fact, previous chairman of Rajya Sabha, Mr. Naidu, agonized many a times, saying that and urging members to participate, which is so unfortunate. Now, when you have bills sent to the committees for discussions, then you can have experts, you can have stakeholders, you can have civil society members, you can have common citizens who can come and be witness in the committee proceedings. So that is one way of involving the citizens. And then I had submitted a private member bill in I think in the winter session last year, which spoke about accountability of our legislative agenda.
Okay.
Meaning that every bill which becomes an act should come with an accountability clause, meaning that the common citizens should have a right to ask the executive and the legislature as to what and how the provisions of the act have been implemented. So these are various ways. There are many other ways. I think it's a wonderful idea that the common citizens should feel more and more empowered and involved. But for that, you need to have the parliament function. See, when people send us to the parliament, they expect us that we'll raise issues of concern of the locality, of the constituency, of the state. When you don't have a 0 hour, when you don't have a special mention, when we don't have the opportunity to raise start questions because of disruptions, then these are the lost opportunities. So first and foremost, I think the parliament needs to function. I think political parties, and I take great pride in saying that my party, Biju Janata Dal, has never ever disrupted since its inception. We have never ever gone to the well of the house.
Okay.
So I think here BJP cannot play saint. They do the same. When they were in the opposition, they were disrupting. Now Congress and other opposition parties are doing the same.
Okay.
So I urge all the members to behave well. At least let the parliament function to start with.
Okay, indeed, proper functioning, smooth functioning of the parliament is the key aspect there. We're running short of time, but quick response from you, Mr. Tripathi, on the same question, how to bring in more people connect when we're talking about the functioning of these legislative bodies. Of course, whatever issues are discussed here are people's issues, but then how do you connect it more with the people, make it more accessible to the people, make them understand that this is what is happening for you?
See, a lot of effort has been made, which has been recognized also, like live telecast and all those things. They have made members' presence, even their conduct also visible to their constituency. So, being open, being transparent does not mean being very debative also. There is a saying in parliament that let the government has its way, but opposition has its sway. But to represent the will of the people, you don't need to go into the well of the house. I do believe, and I also believe that the parliament has become a repository of a lot of wisdom, and debate and discussion are the only way out. People look at Indian parliament, how debates are happening. Courts look at the debate, what is the intent of the law. So now the time has come to go for rule as a code, which OECD countries are doing. When a law is made, let there be the algorithmic analysis of that law. How many laws existing are going to be affected by this? Today's laws are made only which are advocate consumable. We have to think of an era where laws made by parliament and assemblies are made machine consumable, and that would be the era which will be digital democracy will come. And I hope we should work on that area. And a good functional house and a good democratic society does not require involvement of people like bureaucrats like us, but require involvement of people like Professor Sinha and the other colleagues who are representing here.
Okay, indeed, indeed, parliamentary democracy is all about people's representative. And let's have a final word from Professor Sinha before we bring this to an end. Professor Sinha?
Earlier I said that till 1915 to 2013 we remain a conventional democratic thinking. After 2014, when Prime Minister asserted that India is the oldest form of democracy, and that is substantiated, one should go through how the legislatures function in India. K.P. Jaiswal's a very wonderful book, Hindu Polity. So what I consider that we have a great history of legislatures history. That history must be Indian democracy must be Indianized. So no longer she said Westminster democracy, we are the imitators of the Westminster democracy. Here the role of the speakers is very important. I think such discussions should be very useful in evolving the Indian democracy in context of our tradition, history and legacy.
Okay, here it is. Thank you so much, Professor Rakesh Sinha, Mr. Tripathi, Mr. Sujit Kumar, and Chakshu as well for sharing your views and insight with us and our viewers as our experts were pointing out various aspects of the parliamentary democracy, the key issues, the key challenges, and how to make it more inclusive, bring in more people's participation, and of course, ensure harmonious existence and working of all organs of the state that includes both legislature and the judiciary as well. We'll come back again with a different topic. Till then, keep watching Sansad Television. Thank you.